Welcome back to the Gridiron Expert. So you've seen my Pac-12 football predictions, you've seen game-by-game predictions for each team, and now as always I'm going to give my conference recap and conference standings, and then my prediction for who will play for the Pac-12 Conference Championship. So let's get down to it. So actually these conference standings are much more clean than my SEC and ACC predictions. The only kind of controversy would be Arizona State being ahead of Colorado. They both have the same conference record though. They're 3-6 apiece. And the reason Arizona State is ahead of Colorado despite having a worse record is because of the tiebreaker. Arizona State defeated Colorado, or I project them to defeat Colorado, and that's why they're ahead of them in the standings. But the North is actually how it should be. It's a straight rundown. The team with the better record is ahead of the team that is not. 11-1, 10-2, 9-3, 8-4, 4-8, and then 11-1. I obviously am not too high on California. Like I've said always, I'm not going to go back and give you game-by-game predictions or recap who I have beating who. Go back and watch the videos for that. But as of right now, my conference championship will be USC at 11-1 versus Washington at 11-1. Each have one conference loss apiece, so it shouldn't hurt either of them that much. And more than likely, the winner of that game will go to the college football playoff. But really, though, I mean, the teams are pretty equal. I would say if you look at the standings, though, the North, oddly enough, is more competitive than the South. You've got Stanford within one game of Washington. You've got Washington State within one game of Stanford. Oregon within one game of Washington State. So it's very competitive there. In the separation, it's only one game between who will play for the North title and represent the North in the championship game. Then here, USC has a little bit of an advantage with a 2-game buffer over UCLA. So that'll be fun to watch. See if UCLA can maybe challenge them like Stanford is challenging Washington. But really, there's not much more to say about this. It's pretty straightforward. Not much, not anything to be questioned here. No, if you go back and look at my SEC and ACC recaps, you have teams that are 5-7 ahead of 6-6 teams all over the place. Or I think one time I had a 4-8 team above a 6-6 team. So that's all based on conference tiebreakers. A lot of conferences are different on how they want to handle tiebreakers. But usually, if they have the same record in conference, it usually is settled by head-to-head competition, in which case Arizona State would defeat Colorado and jump them in the standings, but not that big of a deal. And so, in my conference championship game, USC versus Washington, I am picking Washington to once again go win the Pac-12 championship and advance to college football playoff. I feel that Washington is more experienced than USC right now. They've been there before. They know what it takes. They've played in the Pac-12 championship. They've played in the college football playoff before, and I feel that they're just going to be too good with Jake Browning and Myles Gaskin, and then a decent defense, especially on defensive line. I'm really excited to watch this Husky team, but this will be one heck of a conference championship game. Nothing like the blowout we saw last year in Washington and Colorado. If you remember, though, USC handed Washington their only loss last season, so this will be kind of a revenge game since they don't play in the regular season. But I think the winner of this will go to the college football playoff, and right now I'm going to pick Washington to advance in a very close game and go back to the college football playoff for the second straight year. But these are my Pac-12 standings. These are my projections. We're going to continue with our next Power 5 conference or the independents, which will be Notre Dame, Massachusetts, Army, and BYU. So we're just going to have to wait and find out. Please stay tuned on the Gridiron Expert, and please continue to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what teams you want to see. That does influence which conference or which team we do next, and we enjoy hearing y'all's feedback. So please stay tuned, and we'll see you next time on the Gridiron Expert.